Last week, Scheffler led the field in strokes gained total and tee to green. Really impressive numbers as well. Strokes gained around the green and strokes gained putting. Okay, let's bring Mark and Bob into the conversation now. Guys, Scheffler now has 3 majors and 15 victories. He's only 28 years old. Bob, how much confidence could you feel from Scheffler when you spoke with him?
You know, when you talk to him, you do really get this feeling that he is kind of comfortable in his own shoes, is the way I would put it. He is certainly confident with his game, but there's more of a comfort level. He just seems to enjoy what he does. He believes that he can play every shot. We've seen him earlier this year, as I asked him in that interview, getting frustrated at times, but I don't think that's anything more than him believing that he can be better, knowing that he can be better because, look what he did last year, and all of a sudden, of course, he wins a week before by umpteen shots. So there is a confidence in him. There's a calmness about him. I think he takes life very lightly, very enjoyable. He's got that atmosphere around him where, if all of a sudden he didn't play golf, I think he'd still be happy with his life. But I do think when you look at his game, he feels pretty good that he can correct any kind of mistake as he did with the drives that were going left. He feels pretty confident that he's got a great team around him, his caddy and Ted and his coach. And, there's a lot of parts of his life that I think he's feeling very, very good about it. And so that translates into his golf game. Didn't really get worried about having to come back and match Jon Rahm down the stretch, which he did with ease.
Mark, he's got his swagger back. I mean, to win his last 2 starts by a combined 13 shots is simply remarkable. How impressive has this run been by Scottie Scheffler?
Well, it's impressive, but I think we're kind of at the tip of the iceberg here, Scully. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago when we left Texas and he had that dominant victory. I felt like, okay, the season is now getting kickstarted, and I had the number at 3.5, the over/under on the wins. Now we're at 2, so I'm pretty comfortable, I think, with my 3.5. I'm wondering if we're into a multiple major season here. You could also argue that during this PGA Championship, that he won this championship with his A game for 9 holes, back 9 Saturday. The most, right?
Yeah.
So who does that sound like when I suggest to you that didn't have his A game, but won by multiple shots, kind of almost in a way intimidated the field in a sense that you knew he wasn't going to give it away? Sounds Tiger-esque, doesn't it?
Well, we made a bunch of comparisons on the show last year, right? With Tiger's 2000 season to Scheffler, what he did throughout the year last year. And yeah, it seemed pretty similar. And Mark, really, in my mind, this tournament flipped totally on Saturday, the 4-shot swing when Scottie Scheffler nearly made a hole-in-one on the par 4 14th hole. Bryson DeChambeau made a double bogey, and the 4-shot swing right there. And in my mind anyway, the tournament really flipped. Now, it got close for a bit on Sunday, but I mean, for the way Scheffler on Sunday in particular, he looked about as shaky as he could look. A lot of misses to the left, but talk about the perseverance he had and the mental fortitude he had to bounce back with birdies on 10, 14, and 15 on Sunday.
Well, I think that's the amazing part here. And to your point, on Saturday down the stretch, and when the severity of the penalty and the ask from the golf course gets more severe, that's when you separate the men from the boys, so to speak. And you really see who is in command of the face of their golf club and the flight of that golf ball. And that's where Scottie shines. There are other places you can catch him, especially when his A game's not there. You can catch him on the greens. We've seen that. You can catch him in certain circumstances and when Mother Nature gets involved. But when he is feeling comfortable on the greens, which he has been in the last few weeks, and the golf course asks a severe test, a severe examination of the control of the golf ball, late on Saturday and then again on Sunday. And to your point, when he was losing it on Sunday, he trusted, Adam, that eventually this golf ball is going to start to fall right. And it's funny, he had a little chat with Ted Scott. He said, well, maybe we just don't need to aim as far left as we normally do. Let's just, take a little left to right out of it and hit some softer cuts and see what happens. And sure enough, started hitting it in the fairway. Ball just started falling right instead of peeling right. Couldn't get it peeling all day. Sometimes your timing's off, especially when one owns their own golf swing and leans on that cut so much. But wow, I mean, it's very impressive. And if you look at the last 5 or 6 holes of this golf course, it really determined everything. Look at the way DeChambeau and Rahm and those guys came home on those volatile holes that are pure examinations of ball striking first and foremost. And then look at what Scottie did. The tournament was won or lost there on Saturday and again on Sunday.
And when you look big picture here, I mean, Scottie Scheffler is 28 years old. He's won the Masters twice, a PGA Championship as well, 15 PGA Tour victories. Big picture, Mark, this guy's career has been unbelievable. And I mean, he's already got a Hall of Fame resume as of now, but 28 years old, how high is his ceiling? Are we talking like double-digit major victories?
I believe so. So does Brandel Chambly suggested that on the live from desk. I agree with Brandel on this. Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. That's it. Those are the only 2 names post World War II, right? With the 15 wins in the 3 majors before the 29th birthday. I mean, this is rare company right now. And we can look at it at a more micro even example here as we talk big picture. We might not have to wait too long for the 4th. If we're suggesting that the harder it gets, and Quail Hollow was certainly that, this was a golf course that was drenched by Mother Nature, and was really, even with that sub-air system, was really going to play. Also, pretty much very nice conditions most of the week. Once the storm got out of there earlier in the week, that's about as easy as you're going to see Quail Hollow. We had 1 player in double digits. That was Scottie Scheffler, the man standing with the large win at the end. So if you think Quail Hollow was tough, we're 20 some odd days away from Oakmont, where I hear from the guys I've known that have been on the ground for the visit, 15 on the stimp meter, 5.5 inches of US Open rough. Oakmont wants Oakmont in the 70s, Oakmont in the 80s to rise or raise its ugly head. So if the test is going to get more severe, we might not have to wait that much longer for the 4th major from Scottie Scheffler.
Well, I'm already so excited for the US Open just thinking about that. Scottie Scheffler now has the first 2 legs of the career Grand Slam. We saw Rory McIlroy did last month at the Masters. Who knows? We could be in for a very historic summer for Scottie Scheffler. He gets it done, wins the PGA Championship by 5 shots.